Welcome back, everyone, and I've probably a lot of new people watching, so welcome. I am a bassoonist, like a classical musician that plays bassoon, and have recently refound my love for books and reading and the library, especially. My favorite thing as a kid was my mom would take us once a week to the local library, and my library was very tiny in comparison to the city library that I have now. Uh, because one of the things that I get a lot of are DVDs now, because my library growing up was just books, but the one here in the city, like there's DVDs, you can get board games, like puzzles, like there's so many extra things that you can do. I think there's like 3D printing and stuff available now. So yeah, I made a video a couple weeks ago, I think, of everything that I had taken out currently from the library. So I had a lot of fun doing that one, so I'm going to do it again. There are some repeats from the last video. I haven't returned them yet because my library is great and you're allowed up to 30 items at once, and as long as no one else has reserved the book, you can keep it up to 5 renewals, and each time is you get the book for a month, so you can renew it up to 5 times, so you can have the book for up to 5 months at a time as long as no one else takes it. So there's some books that I've kept for a while. I went yesterday, I returned 2 of them finally. I returned some DVDs, but there's one that's kind of been a soft DNF right now. I keep meaning to get back to it, but I have so many other options that I just keep gravitating towards the new ones. So I'm going to start off with what I'm currently reading right now, which is another of the sci-fi Goodreads list. I'm trying to make my way through all of them. I want to do a video specifically on the sci-fi Goodreads books, but I also realize it's going to take me a while to get through all 20 of them. So I think as I do these videos, I'm going to talk about them while it's still fresh in my mind. So the one that I'm reading right now is Annibot. This is the 4th one, I think, out of the 20 that I've gotten to. I'm not going in order because it's just as I get them from the library. I'm only about 15 pages in. I just started it last night and read a little bit this morning. So far, it's great. And I tend to go into books as blind as possible. So this one I had no idea what it was about, but just judging off of the name, I figured it was about some type of sex bot, and I was right. So 15 pages in, that's the way this book is going, but I have no idea the direction she's going to take it, the author is going to take it in. So far I'm very intrigued by this, and I mean the cover is also just beautiful. And then so next I have the one that's like a soft DNF for me, which I've talked about before, which is Songs for the End of the World by Salima Nawaz, and she's local to Montreal, but I got super into the sci-fi Goodreads list, so I put this one down almost a month ago, I think, at this point. So I'm hoping I get in the mood to read this again. It's not, I've mentioned this one many times now, like it's not about COVID, but she wrote it leading up to when COVID happened. So by the time it was published, she published it right in the middle of 2020. So this book isn't COVID, but it basically is COVID. So that's also kind of why I think I've put it down, just because like it feels too real. Like it's very accurate to what actually happened so far, because I'm only about a third of the way through. So and then next I finished this last night, which was Annihilation, which was also on the Goodreads list by Jeff Vandermeer. I loved it. It was very bizarre and weird. Like, I think it's categorized in weird fiction, and I've only ever read one H.P. Lovecraft short story, but I had seen reviews where they relate him as an author to H.P. Lovecraft, and I totally agree. It's just weird, like, adventure. I was very unsettled. Like, I was thinking it was going to turn into a horror type book, but it's just unsettling. And I think I rated it 4 stars out of 5 because I wish there was too much just unanswered. Like, we didn't really get any answers for this book, but I have from the library. I have the entire. There was a trilogy, but he recently came out with the fourth one. This was the one that was actually on the Goodreads list. The first one was originally published in 2014 because I'm reading the 2024 Goodreads list. So I am planning to make my way through the whole series so that I can, read the one that's actually on the list. But so far I loved it. I also, I'm kind of going out of order here, but I also picked up yesterday, I picked up the movie Annihilation because I realized it says on the cover, now a major motion picture. So I'm like, well, I have to watch the movie. I've seen reviews that apparently this doesn't really follow the book, but I'm not surprised because a lot of this book was almost like stream of consciousness narrative. Like a lot of this was just in her head talking to herself. So I don't know how you would make this into a full movie without adding a bunch of extra stuff. So there's that. And then the other one that I have out of my books that I've finished is I recently finished Service Model. This one was great. This was a robot that he's not quite sentient, I would say, but starting to figure out to make his own choices. And the author, if you're a musician, so the author's last name is Tchaikovsky, but he's actually British. I'm assuming he has Russian heritage, but so the author is British, so there's a lot of British like dry humor in this, and I love British humor comedians. Like one of my favorite shows is Taskmaster. So just the humor in this really responded with me well. So I really enjoyed this. And yeah, it was just like a wholesome book. I think I also rated this 4 out of 5 because I did find it was like, I don't want to give away too much. I don't want to spoil most of the books that I read. I think going forward in my videos and stuff, I'm going to try and keep my reviews or like whatever I'm talking about as spoiler free as possible. It's a lot of him just traveling from place to place, so I felt it kind of like disjointed, It was like here, here, here. And the cohesion, I guess I found didn't really flow quite as much as I would have liked. And the direction it went was a little weird. I still enjoyed it, but yeah, I ended up, for me, 4 out of 5. I did find also it was a little slow at times. Like I did take longer to read this than the last books I've been doing lately. Like I've been reading way more since deciding to start doing this Goodreads project. Yeah, because I'm finally reading books that I'm actually interested in. I think I've talked about this before too. Growing up, when I started to, turn into an adult, I thought, oh, I need to read adult, proper, high brow type literature. So I was really only reading classics, and I stopped reading sci-fi and fantasy. So yeah, my reading amount has just gone through the roof because I've started reading books that actually interest me again. So yeah, this one I definitely recommend. Just I love the humor in it, just the dry cheekiness of some of the stuff that he says. And then next is all books that I have yet to read. So I have 23 items total. So let's see. I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 books that I have to read yet. So, and well, 10 if you count the one I'm currently reading. So I have a lot to read, but I am getting to the point where I'm reading almost 100 pages a day, and I manage this by I am lucky that I either am able to take public transit to my gigs. So I read when I'm taking public transit, or when I'm working with my boyfriend because I don't, make a living as a musician. I would be homeless if I completely relied on what I made as a musician. So I work with my boyfriend when I'm not doing gigs, and I am a passenger all the time. So I do the majority of my reading when I'm the passenger in the car or public transit. So I realize a lot of people actually get motion sickness, but like never really crossed my mind until I started talking more about books with friends and stuff. I didn't realize that, yeah, motion sickness was quite an issue for people because I think I've just been reading in the car since I could read, because since I grew up rural, so much of the time. Since I grew up rural, I was in the car a lot as a kid because there's the saying back home that uh, anything is at least a 20-minute drive away. So, I'd always have, easily 20 minutes to an hour, like every day, guaranteed that I was in a car. So I would be reading all the time. Like, some of my birthday gifts would be like readers and stuff for the car. Like, I just read so much as a kid. Thanks to being in the car. So first one that I have is Orbital by Samantha Harvey. I had watched a review on this one, Plant-Based Bride, and she was not too keen on it, so I don't want her review to influence me too much, but I'm not expecting to like this one. I'm gonna hope for the best and hope that I like it, but not expecting too much from that one. And then next, I'm really excited for this one. I read a bit of the plot of this one, and this plot really intrigues me. It's called The Other Valley by Scott Alexander Howard, who's also Canadian, I think. Basically, you're in the valley, the village of the valley, and you can go over one to the left or one to the right, and you're either going 10 years into the past or 10 years into the future, but the I guess the valleys like continue on into infinity, but you can only go to the neighboring one. So very interested to see what that one's about. And then another one I have is I Cheerfully Refuse, and these are all on the Goodreads list for 2024. I have no idea what this one's about. I Cheerfully Refuse by Leaf Enger. I had to do this one through interlibrary loan. That was another thing I wanted to do, I guess, with this series, and that is just highlight how amazing the library is. I've been keeping track for this Goodreads challenge. Every time I get a book that has the price in it, books are just so expensive in Canada. I don't know, I'm assuming similar in the rest of the world, but like I do not buy hardcovers anymore. Like I stopped buying hardcovers so long ago because like this one is cheap. This one's $28, but like there's one here I think that was $40. Like I've been tallying the books that I've been using for this Goodreads challenge, and I think I'm already over like $400, and I've only taken out I think 11 or 12 of the 20 books so far. So I'm like, if I were to do this challenge and buy every single book brand new, like I'd be spending like almost $1,000 by the end, because I want to show that like how resourceful and useful the library is. Like so far I've been able to get every single book I've been looking for just through my library rather than spending a ton of money. So then the next one, I believe this one is number 2 on the list, The Family Experiment by John Mars. I think from the bit of the review, it's something to do with like a reality game show. I think somewhat kind of like Hunger Games-esque, and to do like the parents are putting their kid on the show. It's something like that. I'm sorry, and it says here 11 contestants, 9 months to win the perfect child. So some sort of dystopian like that with a game show. And then this next one is The Mercy of Gods by James A. Corey. Again, I have no idea what this one's about, just going off of the cover. I'm expecting some sort of like, it looks like space, like a place somewhere in like a different world, so I'm thinking like a space opera type thing. That's what I'm hoping for. This one's rated really well on Goodreads. I think this one was like 4th or 5th on the list. And then next one I have, this is the last one for books that I have, is by Douglas Preston. It's called Extinction. Just going off the cover, I'm expecting like Jurassic Park type vibes. Again, no idea what it's about. So yeah, I'm thinking a spin on Jurassic Park. And then so now to get into the DVDs that I have. So the first one that I have is Blade Runner 2049. I actually just returned the original Blade Runner because we watched it the other night. I had never seen it before, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. My boyfriend recommended it because he's like, you're on like a sci-fi kick. He's like, you need to watch all the classic sci-fi movies. So yeah, that one, it's very deep, and I don't know if I can rewatch it just because of how like intense that movie was, but I'm excited to watch 2049. And then this one, totally different. A Room with a View. My friend and I were watching a bunch of Jane Austen movies, and somehow we got talking. Oh, because Maggie Smith had recently passed away, so we were talking about her, and she said, yeah, you really need to watch this. So again, no idea what it's about. So I love going into stuff blind. I love being surprised by what the storyline is. And then next, I have the Alien quadrilogy because I've been watching all the Alien movies. We watched Romulus, the newest one, in theaters back in like October, November, whenever it came out. I haven't gotten into watching these yet because I like this specific one because we recently watched Alien Covenant. I also got that from the library and I brought it back yesterday too. Yeah, Alien Covenant was very intense and actually I don't want to give too much away, but Annihilation had a similar like plot line to Alien Covenant, and I actually think Alien Covenant was my favorite Alien movie so far, just because it answered a lot of questions and because of just how dark it got. Like, I don't think I can rewatch that one. Gore doesn't really bother me since I grew up on a farm, so the gore aspects they were a lot, but for me it was more just like the psychological aspects and just how disturbing that movie was. I don't know if I can rewatch it, at least for a while. And then on a lighter note, I watched Asteroid City as a rewatch because we watched it once, and this was one of those movies where like, what happened? What was this movie about? It's very confusing, and even on a rewatch, I'm very confused by it. It's very beautifully done, but I feel like this is a movie I need to watch like a lot of times to really understand what is going on. But it does have one of my favorite scenes in all of like movies. If you haven't seen it, and if you have, it's the scene where everything goes green. Just to not give too much away, but that's one of my favorite scenes I've ever seen. And next, similar vein of Jane Austen, I've been trying to finish Downton Abbey. This is the final season. I think I've rewatched the first episode of season 6 like 3, 4 times now. I just haven't gotten around to it because I was watching it on Netflix and we just got tired of subscription services, so I don't have Netflix anymore. But I had only gotten up to like episode 6, I think. Like I think there's 9 episodes total. So I keep meaning to finally get through the whole series so I can watch the movies as well. So I've watched the first episode again of season 6, so I'm hoping to finish this soon. And then I also have Grand Budapest Hotel. I've had this one for a while. This is one of those movies that I like to rewatch a lot because it's also another Wes Anderson, like Asteroid City, and I've watched this a few times to understand what is going on. Now I understand this movie very well, but I think Asteroid City, I need to have watched it as many times as this one to understand what is going on. And then I also have Poor Things. I actually haven't gotten around to watching this one yet. I just haven't felt in the right mood because this one's also quite a heavy topic. This one's not as dark as like Alien Covenant, especially like gore wise and stuff. There's like a lot of nudity, but I highly recommend going into this one having no idea what it's about. We decided to go see this in theaters. I think this was our first theater movie date since like we started dating during COVID. We actually hadn't gone to the theater together, so we're like, oh, this looks interesting. Like we love Emma Stone, let's go watch it. And we were just blown away. Like the cinematic experience like is such a beautiful movie, and then like the storyline was very good. And yeah, so Yorgos Lanthimos is one of our new favorite directors. Although I recently watched Kinds of Kindness, and I understand what he was going for. I also got it from the library, but it was definitely not one of my favorite movies. It was a bit too out there for me. And then the last thing that I have is another Wes Anderson movie, The French Dispatch. A while ago we started watching it, and then I think like we both fell asleep or something, so we both only got like half an hour into the movie. So this is another one that I really need to get to because I love Wes Anderson. And yeah, so that's my library haul for May 12th, I think we're at. I think I might do these, I don't know, once a week. I seem to be rotating through stuff pretty quickly, so I just find it fun. Like now that I have all this like available to me for free rather than having to go to, the local chapters or Indigo and spending $30 for a single book. I'm all about supporting the library because the more it gets used, the more funding it has the potential to get. So I'm assuming a lot of people watching these videos already read, but I want to push, how great your library can be. So, and if your library doesn't have the book that you want, at least for my province, the interlibrary loan is a great option. I've already gotten two. I cheerfully refuse, and I'm waiting on the Big Black Box of Doom, something like that. The book is called. I'm getting that one from interlibrary loan as well. Like, it's such a great tool to have available to us, so I think it should be used as much as possible. So yeah, thanks for watching.